hope you're all well. It is Saturday the 4th of May. I can't believe we're into May already, and I'm coming to you today with my April stitching update. So hello again if you're a returning subscriber, and a big welcome if you're new. I have noticed that my subscriber count over the last week or so has kind of started to climb, so thank you for your support and welcome, and I hope you stick around for a while with me. So yeah, I just thought I'd share with you what I've been up to. Considering I've had the best part of 2 weeks off, I wouldn't say there's a lot of stitching gone on. I've really taken the time to relax and chill out. So what I thought I'd do today is show you the stitchy progress stuff first, and then my plans for next month, and then I'll leave the life update until after. And if you're not so much interested in that element of it, then obviously you can click out if you're just here for the stitching. So I thought I'd do it, and then you're not having to fast forward over the beginning. So I've started to film. Daisy has jumped down. If you haven't met Daisy yet, you will, I would imagine, through this. So Daisy has decided right now, having just come in from doing a wee, that she now wants to go out and do another. So she's tapping at the door. So I'm just going to go and let her out. I'll be right back. Is it wrong to want to swear at your pets? Is it really? I opened the door. She stood out because it's windy today. It's not a very nice day at all today. She allowed her ears to flap around in the breeze for a little bit, and then came within seconds back into the house. So anyway, back on with the progress. So the first piece I'll show you is the one that I've just literally taken off my lap frame, having spent the last few days putting a couple of hours here and there into it. The neighbour's child has just gone into the garden. You may hear him shouting. I have never known a small child shout as loud as that child does. I am not kidding you, it is phenomenal. So you may hear a small child shouting like crazy in the garden, so apologies for that. So the first piece, as I said, I'm going to show you is my Heaven and Earth design. It is Steam Heart by Chris Ortega. So I'll put in a photograph of what it will look like when she's finished, and obviously where I was last time you saw her. And this is my progress so far. So I'm just going to, hang on, let me just stand and get this in for you. If I back up a little bit, you might be able to see. Sorry, Daisy just kicked the camera there. So I have been, where have I been? I've been down here on this page. So this page is almost a finish. So we've been stitching mechanical wings for the last few days. Please excuse the light. So today we've got like a bit of a storm brewing, and there's like high cloud cover and bright sunshine, so it keeps dipping in and out, and so the light may be a little bit crazy today, so apologies for that. So yeah, so this is kind of where I've been. About here I hit the halfway mark. The little halfway arrow appeared in my pattern, so I'm not quite a quarter of the way through it yet, but I'm not far off a quarter of the way, I would say. So by the time I've done another couple of pages, I think I'll be a quarter of the way through her, which I'm pleased about. So as I said, I did the page down here, then I also went in and filled in a little bit more of her face in relation to where she was last time you saw her. There's still obviously stitches that need to be go back and stitched, but I thought actually I'll do a bit more of this blue because there's a bit more blocks of colour through this section, and then I'll just pick up the colours that I need to as I stitch through her hair and the rest of her face, because they're similar types of colours rather than chopping and changing off the needle so much. So that's her. So in terms of plans for next month for Steam Heart, obviously I want to get this page finished here, and then, you know, in an ideal world this next page next to her would be really good as well. And then we're on to like a bit of hair starts coming through here, and then there's quite a few blocks of black as I stitch through more of her hair, so there's a few more like blocks of colour which are good, which will speed up the overall process. There's a lot of confetti in this, as you would expect with most heaven and earth designs, so yeah. It's just one of them, isn't it? So I was debating working on her over the weekend, but actually I think, you know, when you get to the point with a project where you're a little bit, not sick of it, because I don't think I ever get sick of my pieces, but I'm a little bit, I've done enough on her and I'm ready for a change, I think. So I will move her out of the way. So another project that got not a lot of love, a tiny bit of love on it, was my Persephone. So it's a Mirabilia piece. I'll put in a picture of, again, what she'll look like when she's finished and where I was with her last month. Please excuse the thread. I was working on her. Oh, I forgot to say, my Heaven and Earth is stitched on 25 count Lagana 1/1. So obviously that's quite, it's not stressful on your eyes, but it's harder to look at. And here is my progress on Persephone. So not huge amounts. I did come up and finished the best part of the trim on her dress, and I started putting in the wall thing that she's sitting on. So there's a lot to still go on her, but I think this weekend I'm going to pick her up and give her a little bit of love, because she looked out a little bit over this month. In particular, she wasn't a piece I worked a lot on. So she is stitched on a fabric called Slightly Nutty. Gosh, my neighbours. A fabric called Slightly Nutty. It's an opalescent Murana 32 count, so it's obviously 2/2 that I'm stitching her on. So yeah, I'm just going to give her a bit of love, try and get as much of this dress area finished as I can. Her arm comes down here somewhere. I'm going to stitch her skin 1/1, so I'm sort of thinking I may just do it like continental backstitch style, half cross stitch or full stitch. I'm not sure yet. I think it's probably going to be more like continental style. How I'll do her, maybe two strands of thread over one for that, possibly. Sorry, I've got FlossTube, itchy nose. But yeah, I'm thinking of obviously working on her this weekend. That is the plan. I did a little video which I'll put below if you haven't seen it, because I started using those twin pointed needles, and you know, just to give them a go, see if they would sort of lay the threads in the way that I would lay them if I was railroading. And I do have another video if you want to look back on how to railroad for neat stitches. I was using 24 needles, which for me are a bit big, so I went on to, where did I go, So and I got some 26s. So I picked those up for a few quid on So I'm going to try those needles. I had, yeah, different responses from people's experiences with these needles. A few people, you know, really got away with them and loved them. I find it interesting what's written on there, that it's a new revolution in stitching. My understanding is that these have been around for quite a long time, from what I can gather. Just because I'm new to the party doesn't mean that they haven't been around a long time. But I got the 26 needles, which is what I would normally stitch on a 32 count or a 16 count fabric on. So hopefully they'll, you know, make things even better. So I'm going to carry on with those. But yeah, the response was mixed. Some people absolutely love them, some people hate them. A few people have said that they felt as though things took longer because they had to take that needle off and attach a regular needle to finish off at the back. I haven't found that. I think it's because I'm not particularly frugal with my floss, I'll admit. I'm not wasteful, but I don't stitch right up until the very nub of things. I have usually a reasonable amount in the back, so I've just found I can pass the stitch underneath and then sort of pull the bottom end of the stitch through without that much of a problem, to be honest. So it's not something I've come across. I do like them. I probably just need to get a little bit more experience with them, so I'll do that over the weekend and update you next month with further updates on those. One piece that has had probably more love than a lot is a new start. Do you want to see a new start? So it's been in my stash for a wee while, and it is a Snapdragon. It's one of Nora Corbett's. She is a Pixie Blossom. I know a few people are about to start this. I noticed I watched Kyle, Stitching in Sound. Hi Kyle. I do want to adopt Kyle, and I would like him to come here and live with me. Just putting it out there, if you ever want a trip to the UK, Kyle, hit me up, because yeah, we've had some good dialogue on Instagram and some comments, you know, Chatelaine related comments, and yeah, I'd love to meet you in person. I really would. I think you're fabulous. So yeah, I know Kyle has this in his stash and is considering stitching her. So I did start her, gosh, earlier on this month. And I'm stitching her on a hand-dyed fabric from, where did I get this fabric from? Chromatic Alchemy. It's called Quiescence. And I was debating which way around to stitch her on. And somebody said to me, because it's like a two-tone fabric, why don't you put the blue at the top like the sky, and have the purple at the bottom, which is exactly what I've done, and it makes perfect sense. So this is my progress on Snapdragon. Excuse my needle, let me just put on a needle minder for you. So I've got a reasonable amount of her dress stitched. Did I say this is 32 count and it's an opalescent fabric, but I don't think you'll be able to see the opalescence in this light, but it looks really good on this fabric, and I'm glad that, for another reason, I've done it this way around as well, because there's a bit of yellow in her wing. I don't know whether you can see that, and that yellow will really pop against the blue in a way that's probably going to pop a lot more than it would if I was stitching it on the purple. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying working on her. And we had some nice weather actually over Easter bank holiday, which is at the point where I was starting my holidays, and I sat out in the garden and worked on her for a bit, and yeah, it was just a nice stitch to do. Yeah, she stitches it really quickly, so I would imagine probably not through May, but certainly in June she will be a finish. Just depends how far I get on. So I've got everything I need for her. There was a few threads I was missing, so I kitted those up and got the couple of Mill Hill beads that I required for her. So yeah, so she got a fair bit of love this month, probably more than I was expecting to give her. And then finally, the lovely Chatelaine. So I have done a couple of updates, so just pillowcases to keep it clean. And I'm glad I've done this, because my Chris Ortega piece is filthy. I'm going to make some of those little bags. I do have a sewing machine that I'm not very good at using, but yeah, I'm definitely going to make some little bags for these. So I've got my felt over, just because I rolled the scroll frame up. Yeah, so as I said, I've done a couple of updates on this. So I did like a bead with me, which you know, showed me adding the beads to the centre, and then I just continued working on it for a little bit after. So I've managed to do some reasonable progress on this. Excuse the fact that my needles are sitting in this. I don't know what I've done with my needle minder. I must have taken it off. I am a nightmare for doing this, and people comment all the time about the fact that there's needles in my work and they'll go rusty, and I know they will, but they're not there long enough to go rusty. That's my excuse. I'll give you a closer look at this in a moment, but here's my progress to date. So I got the centre mandala completely finished, and then I came off and I've completed one of the vegetable patches and started on the 1/1 Tudor rose. So I'm going to switch camera angle and come back and give you a bit more of a close-up on some of the detail on this, so bear with me. There we go, so here it is in all of its glory. So the centre mandala is now completely finished, fully beaded, fully stitched. So within this we have Algerian eyelets, we have satin stitch, we've got rice stitches. What else have we got? Oh yeah, these, sorry, daisy dog hair. These are Den's rose stitches. If I get you in a little bit closer, you can see those. Obviously cross stitch is in here as well, a lot of embellishment, a lot of gold. Beautiful crystal beads. We've got tiller beads, delicas. I've stitched my delicas on a diagonal. It's the way I've always stitched the beads, you know, like these small beads anyway, that is. And then obviously I put my centre beautiful bead on there. For the top corners, I've actually angled them in, so they weren't all stitched in the same direction, so they actually face in over, so I've kind of angled those. And then we're onto the vegetable patch on the side. In here we've got some more different types of Algerian eyelets. We've got some smaller ones and then obviously some larger that sort of have more spikes on them, so to speak. So you've got a different mixture, and there's lots of variegated thread using here, some Gloriana variegated, so you get a sense of different types of colours coming through this. I'm not sure if this is like what these are supposed to be, whether they're lettuces or what. And then there's like a square, a cube put in there as well in like a Montana black. Some of the beads scattered through, not very many beads in this section. And I did start on the 1/1 Tudor rose, which is a second attempt at it. I have no idea why it was such a disaster the first time round, but it really was. So yeah, this is my second attempt at stitching that. I don't know, I spent, I don't know, a couple of evenings working, well, an evening working on it, and then the following evening ripping it back out and restarting it, so a bit of a shame. But yeah, no, it's looking really, really good. So the plan is obviously to finish this Tudor rose, and then I'm going to have to stitch the other three of these. I think that's going to be the only thing with this, is stopping my desire to press on, because obviously there are other vegetable patches in and around here with different colours in, and then you're into different aspects of the mandala, but I'm going to try to contain myself a little bit. You watch, it probably won't work. Sorry, I'm just going to turn my other camera off. Try and contain myself not to want to leap ahead and, you know, stitch more elements. I'm going to have to discipline myself to come back and complete them as I go. So yeah, but I'm really, really pleased with it so far. Obviously, in life it looks incredibly blingy, on camera it doesn't. It's the same with all of them, but yeah, I'm really pleased with it so far. So plans for May. I am not doing Stitch Mania. I've never done Stitch Mania, and I don't think I will ever do Stitch Mania, so hats off to everybody who is. I am watching your progress. Some people are doing Vlogmania and kind of vlogging daily their progress on their stitching. So again, hats off to you guys who are doing that. It's not something that's ever sort of caught my attention. I have noticed a couple of people are doing like Monogamania, where they're just working on one piece. Again, that did cross my mind, I must admit, to just maybe work on Steam Heart, but I'll get bored. I need to switch out every sort of few days, otherwise I'll lose my stitchy bug and I just won't want to work on something. So yeah, that wouldn't be for me either. So my plans for this month, as I've said, I want to maybe get another page finish in on Steam Heart. I'm going to work on Persephone over this long weekend because it is a bank holiday here. We have Monday as well, and then to go back to work after my stretch off. Obviously Snapdragon will get some love, and the Chatelaine, I'm going to see how far I can get. I want to get that Tudor Rose finished, and then obviously probably at least work on another vegetable patch and Tudor Rose, but we'll see how that goes. I may get more done, I may get less, I don't really know. The other things I want to do this month, you've not seen my autumn at Hawker and Hollow in a while. This hasn't come out to play for a couple of months. I'm quite keen to get on to the 4th block and put some work into this. This is stitched on 40 count 1/1, no 1/2, 40 count 1/2, which makes it 20 count, doesn't it? And I'm stitching this in the Call for MPI silk, which, yeah, was not cheap to kit, I have to say. So obviously I'm fully committed to this piece and will be finishing it. So it'll be good to get that 4th block done, and then that puts me just over a third of the way through, because obviously I've done the topper as well, and there's 12 blocks. So if I can get that one done over the next month, 2 maybe, that will be good, and then I'm more than a third of the way through that. Not that there's a rush for it, there really isn't, but you know, it'll be good to get it moving a little bit, as it is with all of the pieces, but it's a time thing. And the other thing came in my box of Stitchy Kindness, and I am really curious about this kit, and I know I showed you it in the upload. If you haven't seen that upload, I'll link it in the box below for you, from, yeah, a huge box of Stitchy Kindness that I opened earlier on in the week, and this was one of it. It's a Russian kit, and it's beautiful sunflowers, and I'm really keen. It's not quite a cross stitch, it looks more, I don't know, it looks more, it could be a cross stitch, I don't know. It has like more of a tapestry feel to it. I'm not sure what it's stitched on either. It looks like maybe, let's have a look. So it's got 42 colours, it's a Russian kit, and it's 40 by 34 centimetres, so it's like 15 by 13 inches. And oh, it looks like it might be 14 count. Yeah, 14 count Ada. Colour chart, Moulin cotton. I've never stitched with Moulin cotton, so it's a bit different to like the DMC. It looks a bit thicker, I think, but I'll show you that as I start it. And then obviously colour chart, which I won't, but I'm really curious about this, and I think it's stunning. I love the colours. I think it might be quite tricky to stitch from looking at the pattern on the back. There seems to be a reasonable amount of detail in it, but it looks gorgeous. So yeah, I'm quite keen to start that as well. And the other thing I'm really quite keen to have a look at, and this again was in my Stitchy Kindness box, is this frame. And I did mention when I picked Persephone up that I wanted to have a little look at this. So there's 2 elements of this. You can either, it's got a double paddle to sit on, and then you can either have like arms to rest like a Q snap on, or a small stitchy frame, or it's got this sort of clamp here where you can put in a hoop, or again a Q snap if you wanted to, depending on what your preferences are. So again, I'm quite keen to have a look at that. So they are my plans. Yeah, I'll have a chat and do some live updates just now, but if you are clicking off, then it's been lovely spending time with you, and I'll catch you soon. If you're sticking around, then I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, so life in general has been pretty good. As I said, I've had almost, well, a good 2 weeks off now. Not a lot of progress on the stitching, considering I've had that amount of time off, but you know what, I've just, here's Daisy, are you coming up? No, I've just relaxed and chilled out and not put any pressure on myself really to, oh, don't sit on my, oh God, he's trying to sit on my stitching. Why do they do that? Why do cats and dogs have to sit on your stuff? So I haven't put any pressure on myself to do anything in relation to stitching or videos or anything like that. In fact, I was starting to do it. I felt myself thinking, God, I need to film. And you know, when you have like in your head, I don't know if I want to do it anymore. And it did cross my mind not to film anymore. It really did. And I just thought, well, I don't know. I think because I have probably in the past put a bit of pressure on myself to do stuff, and you know, it isn't easy to do the videos. They take a lot of time, I will say that. Yeah, you do sit, you just film, and within half an hour, 40 minutes you're done. But it's the editing, it's the uploading, it's making a thumbnail, you know, it all really takes time. And the reality is, it takes the best part of a day to film, edit, upload, and do everything you need to do for one video. And you know, I'm not the fastest at it, but yeah, it has crossed my mind not to do them. So I then thought, well, don't put pressure on yourself to do stuff. Don't feel as though you have to upload something every week or 2 videos a week or whatever I was trying to do at one point, because you know, who cares really? Do you know what I mean? I know there's a select group of people who will watch most things that I upload, and people will dip in and dip out, but it did cross my mind not to do it. So I've kind of got over that now, and obviously I'm still here and still doing them. But yeah, I'm just gonna probably potentially take it a little bit easier in terms of putting pressure on myself to feel as though, gosh, I haven't filmed and I haven't uploaded for more than a week, I have to do something, because that's not very healthy. I mean, some people do this for a living, and the ones who do it for a living upload 2-3 times a week. I work full time and then some, and run a household. On top of that, these guys don't, and they still, you know, struggle to find time to upload. So, you know, I think we have to put this into perspective, really. So yeah, I got over all of that. So yeah, in terms of other life update, as you know, I've been on a diet for most of the year so far, and obviously this massive exercise push. I can honestly say that I'm feeling really, really well. I've lost 21 pounds in total since I started Weight Watchers. So I've been using the Weight Watchers app and counting points, and that really appeals to me, this kind of like mathematical approach to maintaining and managing what I eat. I like that. I like knowing exactly where I am. I wouldn't want the opportunity. I can deviate outside of that, and obviously you do if I'm going out for dinner and stuff like that. I'm not going to completely restrict myself, but by and large I am keeping in that. So as I said, 20 pounds, a 21 pound weight loss, which is 1.5 stone, which has made a massive difference to my like just general well-being, as well as obviously the way I look, but general well-being as well. And I'm about the point where I wanted to get to. I may kind of carry on for another month or so and see where that gets me to, just to give myself a little bit of a buffer. But the diet won't really change just because I'm eating cleaner and healthier now than I ever was. I'm cooking every meal, it's prepared from scratch. It isn't, I used to live on microwave meals. It was really bad at one point because it was just convenient and working and stuff like that. You know, it's just whatever's easier, but I have got myself into a routine with it. So over this time I've been off, I went shopping with my mum for clothes. My wardrobe has literally completely changed. So I've dropped a complete dress size. So I'm now a UK 12. The 12s are a little bit big, but I'm not a 10, which is like an 8 in the US. So that's my current size. I don't ever think I'll get to a UK 10, which would be a US 6. I think that would probably be too thin for my height, but yeah, the 12s are very roomy. I had quite a lot of size 14 clothes in my wardrobe, which I went through last week and I've put in a pile for charity and for donations. I can literally wrap the trousers that I was wearing like last year around me, like I can pull them, so you know when you normally fasten, I can do that with them. It's madness how big I'd allowed myself to get, and I'm just like shocked that I would do that to my body, do you know what I mean? But you know, it's the way it goes. And then obviously I got promoted. So for those of you who don't know, I did get my promotion at work. So I got my senior manager level, which came with like a cash acknowledgement of that. So I did say at that point that if I did get promoted, then I would buy myself a Peloton bike, because I'd been using the digital app for quite a while on no spin bike that I had, and really got quite into it and addicted. And the Peloton is here, and I'm even more addicted than I was, so I'm going to show you that just now. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my life in general at the moment. So let me show you this bike, and then I'll come back and say bye. So at the moment, the beast is in my kitchen, sort of just behind the door. So this is the door you would come into my kitchen, and then obviously I'll just give you a bit of an idea. So I've got the bifolds on the back, so when the weather's warmer, obviously I can open those up. The bike is not staying here, by the way. I'm in the process of getting one of my integral garages. I've got two integral garages converted into a gym area, so it will move out of here and be put in there. But this is the bike. There's my cycling shoes, because obviously this works on cleats that you clip in, and it's just safer. And then obviously it's got a little basket on the back where I have my £2 hand weights in, because some of the weights do some arm exercises. And then that's obviously your resistance dial, water bottle there, and then the screen where you literally watch your classes off and work alongside them. So you can either do live classes with the instructors, or you can do on-demand classes. So there's thousands of classes that you can pick up. So it just depends what kind of music you enjoy and stuff like that. So I have been giving this a lot of love since it arrived 2 or 3 weeks ago. So absolutely in love with this. Obviously this is helping to drop the poundage as well in a massive way. You come off here sweating like you've never sweat in your life, but it's incredibly intense and hard, but obviously that's what you want, isn't it? Yeah, so that's me. Pretty much in a nutshell for the last few weeks. So healthy eating, exercise, stitching. What more could anybody want? So yeah, I'm just gonna spend this May bank holiday weekend here in the UK just chilling out. Hopefully, I think the weather's a little bit more stable tomorrow, which is good. I don't know whether I'll manage to get anything done outside, but yeah, life is good at the moment. So Daisy's now asleep in the corner of the chair. I think you can probably just about see her. She hasn't been very interactive today, has she? But I'm going to love you and leave you and get this edited and get this up for you. So you take care, and I'll see you soon. Take care, bye.